Hey, what's up guys, it's Kaustubh here, and today guys, as per the title and thumbnail of this video, I'll be doing a unboxing and giving you my first impressions about the newly launched Moto G 5G. So without wasting any further time, let's get the video started. So starting the unboxing, firstly this is how the box looks, pretty minimal and pretty classy, a pretty Motorola style box I would say. And opening up the box, we have two seals on the top, bottom and the side. So opening that up will firstly give us the phone itself. So this is the Moto G5G itself, and this is again a pretty classic Motorola packaging strategy or trend I should say, because from a long time Motorola has been doing same kind of packaging, which is also a sort of trademark to them. So nice thing about that. And keeping the phone to the side, next thing that we get in the box are a couple of user manuals which have some info in it. Keeping that to the side, then the next thing is a 20-watt power adapter and a USB Type-C charging cable. Next thing is the SIM card ejector tool is what we get. Moving on, this is how the phone looks, and it comes with a included TPU case, which is a nice thing, and this is the most satisfying part guys. That's done pretty well. And booting up the phone, and this is the silver color which I've bought the Motorola G5G, and it has now booted up. So let's move on. So moving on from the unboxing guys, now it's time to talk about the initial impressions. So the first thing that I immediately noticed after holding the Moto G5G in my hand is that this phone feels pretty similar, and it has a pretty similar vibe as that of the Poco X3. Yes, in terms of height and in terms of width as well, it is pretty similar to the Poco X3, but guys, the Moto G5G feels very well. Weight distribution has been done really good is what I think, because this phone also has a 5000 mAh battery, but then too the weight distribution is pretty on point. It doesn't feel a heavy phone or a bulky phone just because of the weight. In terms of width, yes, it is a bit huge I should say, like for housing that big battery, but that's acceptable because we are getting a big battery as well. So immediately after holding the phone, what you would also feel is that if you have used the Poco X3 previously, then it feels pretty similar to the Poco X3. Second thing guys talking about is with the display. So the Moto G5G has a 6.7-inch IPS LCD panel, and this is a 60Hz panel, not a high refresh rate panel. But one good thing that this display has is that it is HDR10 certified, so you can watch crisp content on Netflix and Amazon Prime. It will work really well with those apps. But other than that guys, at a price tag of about 21,000 rupees, which is about 20,000, I was expecting Motorola to give us an AMOLED display panel, because it is mandatory to have an AMOLED display panel. About 20,000 is what I think. Talking about the competitors such as the Realme 7 Pro and the Poco X3, the Realme 7 Pro especially has an AMOLED display. It is also above 20,000 price segment, but that one has an AMOLED display, so I was expecting this phone to also have an AMOLED display, but it is not, sadly. Other than that guys, this is not a big issue. Like, the display is also really good. This IPS LCD panel is not bad by any means, but AMOLED display has its own charm, so I would have really liked to see an AMOLED display on this one too. Third thing guys is talking about the software experience. So the Moto G5G out of the box comes with Android 10 pre-installed, and the software experience is pretty clean, pretty minimal, as it is a stock Android interface that we get to see. So this is pretty classic Motorola interface I would say. It looks really clean, pretty clean vanilla Android is what we get. And talking about pre-installed app guys, pre-installed apps are really nothing, like just Moto and Motorola notifications is the pre-installed app from the company, I guess. Other than that, everything is just Google Apps, which can be pretty easily disabled. Other than that, it is a clean user interface. So this is really a big thing for me, because the Poco X3, which is also in a similar price segment, comes, as you know, Xiaomi MIUI. It has a lot of pre-installed bloatware apps that it comes with already, so I think Xiaomi should improve it. Motorola has here done a great job with the software experience. The software is really smooth, it works really well, there are no lags or freezes overall throughout the whole software. So lastly guys, talking about the cameras, then on the back we get a triple camera setup. Yes, a triple camera setup, but by looking at the phone, at the camera module, you might think no, it is a quad camera setup, but no, that's not the case. If you look up close, then the fourth camera module is basically a flash and it is not a camera module. So technically it is a triple camera setup is what we get. And in this we get the primary sensor is a 48 megapixel sensor, then we get the second sensor is an ultra wide sensor, and the third one is a macro camera. So I'm really impressed with the selection of camera models that Motorola has done. At least they have not given us the useless depth camera, because it is of no use, because portrait photos can be clicked easily by doing some software optimizations. It is easily possible, but here we get a macro camera, so that's a good thing. I know macro camera is also not that great, because the photo from the stock camera, if you click it and then if you crop it in, then the quality will be much better compared to a dedicated micro camera quality. But nonetheless we have it here, so we can't complain anymore. Ultra wide camera is also a great addition is what I think. So guys, that's about it for my unboxing and initial impression video of the Moto G5G. And guys, I've kept this video pretty raw and natural. I have talked at least what I felt about this phone after holding this phone in my hand for the first time. So other than that, also one more thing I like to say is that this video has not been sponsored by any means. I have bought this phone with my own money and it has not been sponsored, so just wanted to clear things up. And other than that guys, talking about my opinion, then what I think is that at a price tag of about 21,000 rupees, the Moto G5G is a great phone. But guys, there is always a but. There are also other competitor rival phones in this same price segment, such as the Realme 7 Pro and the Poco X3. Poco X3 is also an interesting phone. It comes at around like 18,000 rupees, so that's also a great phone, has a high refresh rate display. But if you are like someone like me who loves AMOLED display, then Realme 7 Pro has an AMOLED display as well. So this is an awkward middle phone, I would say, between both these phones in terms of display at least. So if you like AMOLED displays, you can go for the Realme 7 Pro, and if you are a big fan of stock Android experience, then you can definitely go for the Moto G5G as well. Other than that, talking about the reviews, then a full review of the phone will be coming on my channel really soon, as well as a lot of interesting things such as a camera review, gaming review, speed test comparison, and much more. Everything is gonna come to the channel really soon, so make sure you guys hit that red subscribe button down below and also turn the notifications on so that you don't miss my upcoming videos on the Moto G5G. So that's been my time guys, and this has been my review and my initial impression of the Moto G5G. So if you have liked this video, then please do hit the like button down below. So this is your boy Kaustubh from Tech2Explore signing off. Until then, keep exploring.